If you've not gotten a burger, a beer, and a tattoo within 20 minutes, I'm guessing you might not have been to Poopy's. Our goal at Best Motorcycle Roads is to make your next motorcycle trip the best it can be. The bottom line is there are some great local places to eat in Illinois, Missouri, and Iowa, and it's not hard to find them.
Yeah, and we're talking about the ones that are on the motorcycle roads.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Totally. So we're in a two-part series. This is our second episode. Now we're going to talk about the top motorcycle restaurants for Illinois, Missouri, and Iowa. So let's start with Illinois, Todd. And this might be, outside of maybe Sturgis, this might be one of the most iconic Midwestern biker bar grill. And it just keeps growing. I remember the first time I was there was probably 10 years ago. And so Savannah, Illinois is just over the border of Iowa. So it's just on the east side of the Mississippi. Mm-hmm. And one of the coolest things that they used to have, now they took it down, but it was a bridge that you crossed over, and it was the metal graded bridge. Mm-hmm. So that was, people kind of had a little panic attack when they would go over that. But then there's a cool causeway on the Iowa side when you go to it too. So it's just a kind of a very unique little ride.
It's a great ride.
Yeah. And so when you get into Savannah on the south side, there's a place called Poopy's Pub and Grub. And I'm not sure that you can actually get a tattoo anymore, because I think they made it illegal, but to get tattoos and eat so far. But what's really amazing, when I first went there, it was really kind of a dive, and they've built this up into a really nice place. I mean, they have big venue in the back for
live music.
Music. They've got motorcycle repair and tuning. Wow. So they have bunches of stuff there, and clothing, and it's a big place now. So and one of my favorite things about it is I don't love going to see all the crowds and everything. So if you get there first thing in the morning, meaning 10. For the first hour, they actually serve breakfast too. And so it's just a really fun place. So come in the morning if you're not wanting to see the whole crowd, and then you can go all the way into the evening and the night, and they'll have bike nights and everything. They have camping on site. Nice. Jeeps, a lot of Jeep stuff there too. So it's quite a place. It is really cool. It's just a fun location. Big. It's a large place. Yeah. So yeah, it's a really good place. So I was surprised when we talked about you hadn't been there.
I still haven't been to Poopy's. I can't believe it.
Yeah, I've
been to Savannah and been to the Iron Horse Social Club, and
there's another, and that's just a bar on the main street, and it's cool though. It's very cool. Historic motorcycles kind of up in the
they've got a couple levels too, I think, and they've got things on display up above,
and that's a really old bar too. That has some historic value. Yeah, which is way cool. Mm-hmm. So definitely Poopy's #1 place, maybe even the Midwest for bikers. But if you're in that area. And then the #2 place that's almost maybe the opposite of Poopy's is a place called the Moonshine Store. It used to be population of 2, now it's population of 1.
Ooh.
Yeah, so Helen is the person that now owns the Moonshine Store. Wow, what a place. So I first learned about Moonshine Store when I was riding more of the long distance rides. So it used to be kind of the opening spring LD place to be in April. I think it's the 2nd or 3rd week of April. There's the Moonshine Ride, and there was a guy that was a big part of that community that had a farm, and everyone would come out and camp. And then the next morning you'd go to Moonshine, and they had a big fest that day. So a lot of times, on normal days, you go there, and their motto is you can't come too early, but you can come too late. Yeah. They close at noon, and that's it. Locking them up and moving it on. So I've probably been there a half a dozen times. I try to drive through when I can. And when you go there on any regular day, it's just a spot where the farmers hang out and drink coffee and tell lies to each other. But you can always get a burger or a bologna sandwich or a ham cheese sandwich. And it is a very old general store, and they don't really do the general store thing anymore. It's just kind of a breakfast and lunch spot. And so it's fun. But on the big days when they have big events, then they bring in cookers outside, and they just have huge cookers going with, just hundreds and hundreds of, and then if you go on the right day, the Amish who live nearby will start bringing pie and homemade ice cream too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you can't miss that.
If
you see the Amish there, definitely stop.
Yeah.
So this is literally a 4 corners in the middle of Nowheresville. It's about an hour west of Terre Haute. It's the closest town is KZ, which is spelled Casey, but if you say KZ, then they'll know you're legit when you go down there. There's a hotel in KZ, and yeah, it's a cool little iconic motorcycle place that I hope continues to stay open.
So is this town of one? She runs the place and does the cooking, or
yeah,
does she have,
I mean, I think there's some people that help, but yeah, her and her husband used to live. They lived on the second floor.
Oh my gosh,
it was amazing, and it's a one building town.
So she's the mayor and everything, right?
Everything.
Postmaster.
Yep. So yeah,
I love that.
It's quite a place, and
that's cool.
You'll miss it. You can blink and miss it, but yeah, we've been down a few times, and I've even stopped with driving through with the kids in the car because I talk about it so much, and they love it.
What's the route is that on? Do you remember?
It's a county road. Okay. Like it's not a.
But if I put in Moonshine, Illinois,
yeah. Yep.
All right.
Yep, for sure. You won't miss it. So those two are our big Illinois spots. For Missouri, our first one is a place that's just literally connected to a BP gas station in Hannibal called the Big Muddy BBQ. I don't know if you've heard these stories before, but I've heard that the best barbecue comes from gas stations. Mm-hmm. And this was amazing. We had a great time there, and it was literally like, I mean, we're talking the old static booths where the table and the chairs don't move, everything's attached. And no kidding, the day we were there, there was one guy running it all. Yeah, sorry guys, the other employee didn't come in. So, you just were waiting patiently, and it was awesome. So, just a neat kind of an experience, but the barbecue was really, really good.
Yeah, that's Hannibal?
In Hannibal, yep. It's literally on the main drag in Hannibal, like the Avenue of the Saints that goes down to St. Louis.
Yeah, I've always heard that the barbecue places, like, just hit the gas stations. They've got the best stuff.
It's the craziest thing.
It's like,
and they were lined up out the door.
Wow.
Yep, it was. Well, and that may be because there was only one person working.
Oh, true.
The other favorite place, I guess it is definitely it's not an official restaurant, but it's great food. The Bixby Country Store, and that is in Bixby, Missouri, Highway 49. We were just there this last spring, and hands down the best breakfast sandwich I ever had. Texas toast, bacon, eggs, unbelievable, and I was almost not even going to get it, but Chris got a sandwich. I'm like, I'll have something with you. So this is just a cool piece of Americana. In 1906 was when it was established. It's down by the lead mines.
Wow.
So it's always and still is kind of a place for these lead mine guys to get lunch, breakfast. Mm-hmm. And those guys are working all the time. So it's a general store, eatery, post office, and just general hang-around spot, I think, for the most part. And it's just quite the place.
And the tables are kind of in the back, aren't they? Like you kind of walk through it?
Yeah, they have some tables in the very back. And then they also have, like, it's your classic community tables, like just a big table, and everybody sits together, and you just chat.
Yeah. No, it's a great place. I remember just lots of nostalgia there.
It really is. I mean, it's kind of... Yeah. It's one of these things that's kind of sad because you can see it's not going to be there forever. But man, you just wish you could somehow preserve it, but you can't preserve everything.
Put it in time capsule. Yeah.
So you have one that we visited before in Cuba.
Right. It's called the Missouri Hick Barbecue in Cuba, Missouri. Mm-hmm. It's on Route 66.
Okay.
So great motorcycle road. And it's right next to one of our favorite places to stay, the Wagon Wheel Motel. The Wagon Wheel has been there for 88 years or more. It's completely restored. It's these little stone cottages.
Yeah, it's like little cabins that were made of stone.
Yeah.
And they're just little quaint little places.
Oh, I just love that place, the old gas pump out front and that. But anyway, the barbecue place is right next door, and it's been there for 17, 18, something like that years. But, it's been featured on the Travel Channel and Road Trippers and Yelp and TripAdvisor. The tables in the inside are all like handcrafted, but the food is amazing. It's all, the meats are all smoked overnight, 12 hours. They've got excellent beer choices, and make sure you save room for the cobbler because it's also fantastic. But yeah, it's these places that have been around forever. They just really know how to do it right. They have an amazing, smoke chef there, and they just really, really do it right.
It's just fun to go places that people are interested in doing that too.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. plenty of parking. Good place.
Yeah. So one more story, and this isn't like a story of a place that you have to, it's not a biker place, but it was just one of these things, and this just goes back to, I don't even think we found this by asking somebody, but the experience that we had after, and we've talked about this before on the podcast, but it's Salvadori's. This is Ozark, Missouri. And it was just one of those things where, classic, where you said, hey, let's go have a couple beers, we'll get some dinner, let's get an Uber. So we took an Uber to an Italian place, which was wonderful. Mm-hmm. And then by the time it's all over, you know, we're having limoncellos with the owner.
And we got to explain why, though.
I don't even remember why.
I know why. Because we went in there and, you know, there's, I don't know, 5 or 6 of us or whatever, got at this table, and we all went around and ordered. And then the wait person went away, and then she came back and came to you and said, I'm sorry, we don't have that.
Yes,
you know what you ordered.
Right.
So you said, all right, well, I'll go with this then. And she left. And a little while later, she came back and said, I'm sorry, we don't have that either. And I think this happened like 3 times to you, where you ordered and then she came back. She said, I'm really sorry. And you're like, just bring me something. So
it's the funniest thing, though, because it seems to happen every time we go somewhere. And it's not like I'm ordering something crazy.
No. You're ordering off the menu.
I don't even know if I've told you this, but Mark and I were riding out, west, and we were out there one night, and we ended up, there was a Chili's right next, Chili's.
Okay.
Right? And so we're like, fine, it's like walkable. We were riding all day. So,
yeah.
So I go over there, and I'll take the ribs, right? Chili's baby back ribs. We're out of ribs. I'm like, what? Like, you literally have a song that's, I want my baby back. So, like, that's whatever nuts. It is, like, about these trips that I do with you guys, every time, and it's like, it's the craziest thing.
So I know that the wait
the reason
person,
we got the
so she told the owner, and she said he ordered 3 different things and we didn't have them. Like, I feel terrible. So at the end of the night, he came out with this bottle of homemade his own limoncello.
It was so good.
And he started pouring us shot glasses of his limoncello. And it was fabulous. It was so good, and it was fun talking to him.
Oh my gosh.
And we got her laughing, and yeah, that was a lot of fun.
But then the best part of the story is, so then we're like, okay, time to go home. Like, there's no more Ubers.
The Ubers had closed down for the night. They all went to bed.
It was like 8:30.
Yeah, we didn't have a ride home.
So we ended up getting a ride home in this woman's minivan that, I don't know.
She was one of the wait staff there. Yeah, she worked
Oh my gosh. Like, there was just, but yet again, another story that would have not just existed had we not, if we'd have ordered a pizza and had it sent to the room, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is just another beg, plead, hope that you just try something local and just see what you can do. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, the other thing I remember about that too is she felt so bad about not having the food, and we gave her a hard time the whole night. At the end of the night, I think we tipped her a couple $100.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
Everybody threw in a whole bunch of money for her, and she needed it.
Yeah,
she needed
Agreed.
it. Because we used her van on the way home.
And she needed a new van.
She needed a
van.
If
I had a van, I probably should send that down.
It was in rough shape.
But these are the stories and the fun that happens, I think, and this is why you and I have talked about this before, but we do what we're doing with these trips. It's not about the motorcycling trip or anything else. It's just about doing something fun and just kind of getting out.
Yeah, meeting people.
Yeah, so that leaves us to Iowa, Todd, the last of the 6 on our list. I've got a couple that I know of for sure. I'm not sure you've been to either one of them.
I haven't.
And St. Olaf's Tavern in St. Olaf, Iowa, which is not too far from Cascades. So think northeast-ish sector. Great little dive bar with the largest tenderloin in the world. I mean, no kidding. Regular size bun, 4 tenderloins, easy. And the thing about this tenderloin is, you can beat it to heck with a tenderizer, but it's thick. It's a 4th. I mean, it's
really.
Oh yeah. So that is a great, great place. Like, you can order a half tenderloin. You can order. It's totally good. So a lot of great bike rides go through there in the summertime, and it's on paved road. It's cool. It's it's that area. You got to go a little further to get some better riding roads, but it's on the way, and it's a good stop for
St.
sure.
Olaf, Iowa, St. Olaf Tavern.
Right,
Okay,
St. Olaf Tavern. It's St. Olaf Tavern. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And I mean, St. Olaf is probably 2 churches and 16 houses. So
okay, yeah,
I've never
haven't even heard of it. I've been to Cascade though.
Yeah, it's close.
Yeah.
And then the other one's on the way other side, over by Omaha area, and it's called the Twisted Tail Steakhouse Saloon. And the sign that's outside, and I have a picture of it, is BB Town. But technically the address, when I looked it up for this checkout things, was Logan, Iowa. But so 80 goes west out of Iowa, almost all the way due east and west until you get to about 6-7 miles outside of Council Bluffs, which is on the opposite side of Omaha. And if you keep going kind of due west on 80, it turns into 680. And we were riding we're riding a circle tour around Iowa a little bit this one particular year. And so we pull off on the 680, we take a right, and we pull into BB Town, and here's this place. And it's just like when you think of a saloon, that's what it is.
Really?
It just looks like a saloon. Just a neat place. Big wraparound porch on the front.
Nice.
I don't know, just a cool little place.
Yeah.
And just great food and just a neat atmosphere. And I'm sure that it's just a place where people can kind of come and congregate because it's not in a town. I mean, there's no town there. BB Town must have been a long town ago, but yeah, just a neat place, neat, just kind of a neat place to stop. And it's just perfect. Again, one of those places where you could see a whole bunch of bikes packed in there on the weekends or something.
Awesome.
Yeah, just a great place. One more place that's like that is also it's a very popular like biker bar restaurant called Gunder Roadhouse. Now it used to be called the Irish Shanty, I think.
Right. Yes.
And it was rebought and now called Gunder Roadhouse up by Elgin, Iowa. And their claim to fame is they have a 1-pound burger. So, have you been?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Have you had the pounder?
I didn't order it. Everybody else ordered it, but I didn't.
It was really good.
Yeah. It was ginormous.
Good and good for you.
Yeah.
So just another fun place. Really great people running the joint. I mean, just a nice, just a really nice atmosphere. Kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Again.
It is out in the middle of nowhere.
And that's what's sad about some of these places. You see why they kind of end up closing at times because they're out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
This is a section we call the toolkit. We share motorcycle gear review, and other riding tips. I thought of one thing we could put in the toolkit today, and that was Pepto-Bismol, Todd. They come in liquid and tablets, and after you had a Gunder Burger, you might need some Pepto-Bismol. But like we had mentioned in the last episode, connect with local rider groups, either online or offline. Ask people about places they've been in these areas. People love to share, and you'll find these little hidden gems. I mean, there's no way you'd find the Gunder Roadhouse if you didn't ask somebody or find out where it was. Or St. Olaf Tap. I mean, you got to take a couple wrong turns before you get there. So,
yeah.
I mean,
I agree. Let's, no chains, right?
Right. Yeah, we didn't mention that, but we should.
You should talk about that.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
Oh, gosh. So I interviewed a guy a while back on the podcast, or actually it was on our interviews. And so if you made it this far, you probably don't get too annoyed with us, right? So we're getting to the end of the episode, but on YouTube we actually have some extra interviews once in a while too. And one of the people that I interviewed was John, and they're like almost a similar group to us, a little more diligent about the way they ride. But John talked about when they go, they call it their no chain rides, and I was like, no chain rides? What does that mean?
Yeah, I was thinking bikes with no chains. Like, what are we talking about?
Wow, you're getting picky, John. But what he meant was, and it's kind of a thing we've not had a good name for, and that we're going to adopt it now.
Yeah, now we're adopting it.
The name, but it's just don't go to chain restaurants, don't go to chain hotels if you can.
Right.
Just go to the no chain. And you learn and meet, and it's just an interesting way to see the country.
It really is.
It's been so great for us. I mean, we talk about it a lot, but I mean, it's part of the stories that last for us, and I don't know. So yeah, and if you haven't checked out the YouTube channel, we do video these same podcasts, so you can see us if you really want to. And then we throw in some extra interviews every once in a while. So yeah, it's just another opportunity.
Yeah.
If you like the podcast today, please like, subscribe, and sign up for our BMR Rider Alerts. It's our way of keeping you in the loop. We promise, no spam.
Keep the spirit of adventure alive, and remember, bikes, friends, and endless roads, the stories ride forever. Take care.